Hi, my name is Omoshola and I'm African. Hi, welcome to another video. Now, in this video, I just want to tell a story about my recent experience with an energy salesman. Okay? So, this day, I was just at home that day. I was feeling blue. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was just in that mood of don't mess with me, just leave me alone. I just want to be on my own, don't want to talk to nobody. Just leave me in my lane. Okay? So, I was in one of those moods that day. I'm sure you all can relate. And I go outside. I was actually taking the trash out that afternoon, and this guy walks down the driveway. As he was walking down the driveway, I see he has a uniform on. So I'm like, yeah, this is a salesman. He probably wants to sell me something. And boom, I was right. He wanted to sell me something. So as he walked up to me, I was just in the mind. I was like, you know what? I'm not really available right now to talk to you, because another thing was I was actually going to pick my kids from school. So I said, I can't talk to you now. I'm actually on my way out. And he says, no, ma'am, when can I come back? I would love to, talk to you about this product. So I said, you know what? Um, okay, so I just tried to figure. I'm like, you know what? Come back in 2 hours, okay? Because I never thought he was going to come back, to be honest. So I drove off and I actually picked my kids from school. I came back in exactly 2 hours. There was a ring on the doorbell. So I told my kids, and immediately my mind was like, oh, that's probably the salesman, right? I never knew there were so committed people out there. But he came back. And at first I told my daughters, I'm like, go get the door and tell him mommy's asleep. Then I remembered that I was teaching these kids yesterday not to tell lies, and you were now today telling them to go do what you told them not to do yesterday. Yeah, double standards, I know. So I called her back and I'm like, no, 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 don't do that. I'll actually go get the door myself. So I went out and I, opened the door, and there he was. The salesman was standing outside. And this time it was cold, like it was really cold. So me standing at the door, I was freezing. So I'm like, you know what, dude is also freezing probably. So I invited him into the house. I'm like, why don't you come in? So he came in, and then he sat at the dining table. I actually offered him a cup of tea, which he politely declined. He said no, he was fine. And then we got talking. But what I noticed was, as we were talking, he was not really paying attention to me. He was just like looking around the house, like, oh, okay. He was just like looking around. And then we're talking about energy, right? Out of the blues, he just says, I watched a documentary yesterday about people in Africa wearing leaves and banana leaves and building their homes with like, palm trees and things like palm leaves and things like that. So I'm like, okay. Now, my first reaction, I'm going to be honest, I was annoyed. Because I was just over like, oh, not again, not you again. I have to start explaining myself to you again. But immediately, something just came in my mind like, no, you can't be annoying. This is a teaching moment. This is an opportunity for you to teach somebody something that they clearly do not know. So I said, okay, really, can you please tell me the name of the documentary? So he did. He told me the name of the documentary. I wrote it down. And then I said, you know what? And said it was the Lost Tribes of Africa, something like that. That was the documentary. And he was right. He was right. These beautiful people actually did have a gift that we do not have. They actually were closer to nature. They didn't have to deal with the plague of the beast of social media. They didn't have to worry themselves sick about, oh, how do I look? Is this outfit okay? They didn't spend money they didn't have on buying products that they couldn't afford. These people were in their natural element, enjoying and basking in the glory of nature, right? So he was right. There was a documentary like that. But what I did not understand was, because of how he asked the question, he inferred that I probably, or everybody from Africa probably also lived like that, right? And that was the teaching moment for me. So what I did was I flipped open my laptop and I started to show him like childhood pictures of where I grew up, where I lived before I actually moved down here, what I did. I showed him all of this and I said, look, I personally have never seen these tribes. Yes, but they do exist, yes. But I personally have never seen them. So this is not to say that the whole Africa is a continent, not a country. There's a continent with 53 countries in there. It's huge. Not everybody in Africa lives like this. We do have civilization in Africa. So I started to teach him a thing or two about Africa, and he was really surprised. And I said to him, I noticed you're also looking around. He says, no, I'm really surprised. You're at your house, you have a lovely home. I said, thank you for the compliment, but the truth of the matter is the home I actually lived in before I moved here was bigger and nicer than this one. I cannot afford to live in that standard of house here because it will cost me way more. So Africa is not the way you think it is. We do have civilization in Africa. We have also evolved. There's a thing or two we can teach you, right? I know there is poverty, there's war, there's strife. There's a lot of these things happening as well, but so everywhere else. Like imagine the first day I heard the term child poverty here in this country where I live, I almost jumped out of my seat. I'm like, what? They also have like poverty here? I never thought they did, but they do actually. So poverty is not unique to a particular set of people. It is everywhere. Like even in developed or advanced countries, there are poor people too. Okay, measuring by the standard of what they measure poverty to be in those countries. Okay, so I spoke to him and we had a beautiful conversation about race, about how people are perceived, and then he started to share his own story with me. He said, look, funny enough, I was actually admiring your home because in my country where I come from, because he was also an immigrant, right? I lived in a mud house, like I slept on the floor, and I could understand, where he was coming from. And I said to him, you know what? I personally have never lived in a mud house. I've never even seen a mud house. Okay, in my social studies textbook in primary school, I did. Yeah. So I've seen a mud house in my social studies textbook, right? So I've seen a mud house, but I've never lived in one. I did not grow up in one. But I can relate to your struggle and why you would think like this house I live in is amazing. But I lived in Africa, right? And because I lived in Africa, you now lived in another country in a mud house. Now, but you still look at Africa like the doomed continent, right? And I tried to explain to him that our experiences are unique to us, but does not make us less of who we are. And he shared how far he's come, how he's grown in the company where he worked for. Long story short, I bought what he was selling, not because I needed to, but because of the story and the connection that we had as migrants in a different country. And I was happy that I was able to teach him something, and I loved listening to his story. And at the end of the day, it turned out to be a beautiful conversation that I really loved having, and actually learned something from him as well as he learned from me. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is for my friends who are not from Africa, give us a chance to teach you what we know. Give us a chance to get to know us, because the truth of the matter is you guys actually way opportune to learn different cultures but not live in your country. You still live in your country, but you get to experience all these exotic flavors and mix of cultures that we bring into your country as migrants. Look, in my country, where there are very few migrants, that's why I have to pay. I have to get the visa, buy the ticket. I have to pay to come to your country to learn what you know. But you don't have to do that. You can learn from us here. We're here. Get to know us. Get to know us. There are things we can teach you. And yes, we've been through a lot, because it's a lot of struggle to actually get to here. Yes, it is a lot of struggle, but we can teach you what we know, and you can also teach us what you know. We can exchange value, guys. We can exchange value. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope you learned something. The moral of the story is give everybody a chance. Somebody knows something that you do not know. Do not count them out because of where they come from or their background. Even if they've come from war or strife or struggle, there's always a lesson in every story. So give somebody a chance. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video.